Hi everyone, my name is Made Ardi Widana Arta with student number 240-553-1081, and in this video I will tell you about polymers, structure, general properties and applications, which is in chapter 7 in book with title Manufacturing, Engineering and Technology. Let's start with the introduction first. Polymers are long-chain macromolecules used in industrial and consumer products. The advantage of these polymers are low cost, low density, corrosion resistance, electrical insulation, and easy manufacturing. The limitations of polymers are low strength, low stiffness, low surface temperature, high thermal expansion. There are two main groups, thermoplastics and thermosets. The examples in daily life of polymers are bottles, toys, food packaging, phone casing, and electrical outlets. The word plastics first was used as a noun around 1909 and commonly is employed as a synonym of polymers. A term first used in 1866. Plastics are unique in that they have extremely large molecules. Consumer and industrial products made of plastic include food and beverage containers, packaging, signs, housewares, housing for computers and monitors. They also used in safety shields, toys, appliances, lamps, gears, electronic and electrical products. Because of their many unique and diverse properties, polymers increasingly have replaced metallic components in applications such as automobiles, civilian and military aircraft. These substitutions reflect the advantage of polymers in terms of the following characteristics. Like I said before, there are relatively low cost, corrosion resistance, low electrical and thermal conductivity, low density, high strength to weight ratio, noise reduction, wide choice of colors and transparencies, ease of manufacturing and complexity of design, and other characteristics that may or may not be desirable depending on the application. These are the range of mechanical properties for various engineering plastics at room temperature, as you can see in table 7.1. In this figure, we have the outline of the topics described in chapter 7. There are MERS, polymer, fillers, plasticizer, stabilizers, colorants, flame retardants, and lubricants. Next, the structure of polymers. The properties of polymers depend largely on the structure of individual polymer molecules, molecule shape and size, and the arrangement of molecules to form a polymer structure. Polymer molecules are characterized by their very large size, a feature that distinguishes them from most other organic chemical compositions. First, we have the polymer basics. These polymers consist of repeating units called MERS, made through polymerization, like linking monomers into long chains. Next, we have the polymerization types. There are condensation polymerization, produce polymers plus byproducts. And we have the addition polymerization, no byproduct, MER adds into chain. As you can see in figure 7.2, there are the molecular structure of various polymers. These are examples of the basic building blocks for plastics. We have the monomer and polymer repeating unit. Next is polymerization. Polymerization processes are complex. They will be described only briefly here, although there are several variations. And two polymerization processes are important, like condensation and addition polymerization. The polymerization monomers can be linked into the polymers in repeating units to make longer and larger molecules by a chemical process called a polymerization reaction. And in condensation polymerization, as you can see in figure 7.3 in the next slide, polymers are produced by the formation of bonds between two types of reacting mers. A characteristic of this reaction is that reaction byproducts are condensed out. As you can see in figure 7.3, we have the example of polymerization. In point A, we have condensation polymerization of nylon 6.6, and point B, we have the addition polymerization of polyethylene molecules from ethylene mers. In figure 7.4, we have the effect of molecular weight and degree of polymerization on the strength and viscosity of polymers. And in figure 7.5, there are the schematic illustration of polymer chains. In point A, we have the linear structure. Thermoplastics such as acrylics, nylons, and polyethylene and polyvinyl chloride have linear structure. The linear polymers, the chain-like polymers shown in figure 7.2 are called linear polymers because of their sequential structure. And point B, we have the branch structure, such as in polyethylene. The branch polymers is the properties of a polymer depend not only of the type of monomers, but also on their arrangement in the molecular structure. In point C, we have cross-link structure. Many rubbers or elastomers have this structure, and the vulcanization of rubber produces this structure. The cross-link polymers generally three-dimensional in structure. Cross-link polymers have adjacent chains linked by covalent bonds. And the network structure, which is basically highly cross-link. Examples are thermosetting plastics such as epoxies and phenolics. The network polymers. These polymers consist of special networks of three or more active covalent bonds. These are the figure like the elastic modulus and temperature for the polymers. In figure 7.6, there are behavior of polymers as a function of temperature and degree of crystallinity and cross-linking. The combined elastic and viscous behavior of polymers is known as viscoelasticity. Next, you have crystallinity. The crystalline regions in polymers are called crystallinities. These crystals are formed when the long molecules arrange themselves in an orderly manner, similar to the folding of a fire hose in a cabinet or of a facial tissues in a box. The crystalline regions is to increase strength, hardness, and melting point. Next is amorphous regions. It is more flexible and transparent. Although the amorphous polymers do not have a specific melting point, they undergo a distinct change in their mechanical behavior across a narrow range of temperatures. Next is glass transition temperature, or TG. Polymer becomes soft or rubbery above TG. These are the the picture of amorphous and crystalline regions in a polymer. The crystalline region or crystallate has an orderly arrangement of molecules. The higher the crystallinity, the harder, stiffer, and less ductile the polymer. Next, we have the glass transition temperature. Although amorphous polymers do not have a specific melting point, they undergo a distinct change in their mechanical behavior. At low temperatures, they are hard, rigid, brittle, and glassy, but at high temperatures, they are rubbery or leathery. These are the figure of specific volume of polymers as a function of temperature. Amorphous polymers such as acrylic, polycarbonate have a glass transition temperature or TG, but do not have a specific melting point TM. Partly crystalline polymers such as polyethylene and nylon contract sharply while passing through their melting temperatures during cooling. And as you can see in table 7.2, there are the glass transition and melting temperatures of some polymers like nylon 6,6, polycarbonate, polyester, polyethylene, and the others. Next, you have polymer blends. The advance in blending involves several components, creating polyblends that utilize the favorable properties of different polymers. Next, we have miscible blends, mixing without separation of two phases, created by a process similar to the alloying of metals that enables polymer blends to become more ductile. Next is thermoplastic. It was noted earlier that within each molecule, the bonds between adjacent long-chain molecules are much weaker than the covalent bonds between mers. It is the strength of the secondary bonds that determines the overall strength of the polymer. Linear and branch polymers have weak secondary bonds. Thermoplastic can be repeatedly melted, shaped, and solidified. It means the thermoplastic is a reversible process. Secondary bonds weaken with heat, allowing reshaping, sensitive to temperature, creep, and stress relaxation. The example is water bottles, plastic bags, PVC pipes, and ABS Lego bricks. In figure 7.10, we have the general terminology describing the behavior of three types of plastics, which is PTFE has Teflon as its trade name, and figure 7.11 there are the effect of temperature on the stress strain curve for cellulose acetate, a thermoplastic. Note the large drop in strength and the large increase in ductility with a relatively small increase in temperature. In figure 7.12, we have the effect of temperature on the impact strength of various plastics. Small change in temperature can have a significant effect on impact strength. And figure 7.13, there are in point A, we have the stress elongation curve for polycarbonate, a thermoplastic. In point B, we have the high density polyethylene tensile test specimen, showing uniform elongation, the long and narrow region in the specimen. Next, we have the thermosetting plastics. When the long chain molecules in a polymer are cross-linked in a three-dimensional arrangement, the structure in effect becomes one giant molecule with strong covalent bonds. These polymers are called thermosetting polymers or thermosets because the network is completed and the shape of the part is permanently set. This curing reaction, unlike that of thermoplastic, is irreversible. As I can say before, the thermosetting plastics is cross-linked structure forms permanently during curing. It means irreversible. cannot be remelted, will burn or char at high temperature, and the characteristic is high rigidity, good thermal resistance, and dimensional stability. The example in daily life of thermosetting plastics are pen or pot handles, electrical socket parts, and circuit boards. Next is additives in plastics. In order to impart certain specific properties, polymers usually are compounded with additives. These additives modify and improve certain characteristics of the polymer, such as stiffness, strength, color, weatherability, flammability, arc resistance for electrical applications, and ease of subsequent processing. The additives modify properties and performance of plastics. There are the common types: fillers to increase strength and reduce cost, plasticizers to improve flexibility, stabilizers to prevent degradation, colorants to add color, flame retardants to improve fire resistance, and lubricants to improve moldability. The examples in daily life of additives in plastics are plasticizer in flexible PVC cables, fillers in dashboard or panel components. The following list gives several common polymers with different burning characteristics. First, plastic that do not burn, or fluorocarbons. Second, plastics that do burn but are self-extinguishing, like carbonate, nylon, vinyl chloride. Third, plastics that burn and are not self-extinguishing, like acetal, acrylic, acrylonitrile, butadiene styrene, cellulose, polyester, propylene, and styrene. Next, we have the general properties and applications of thermoplastics. The general characteristic and typical applications of major thermoplastic, particularly as they related to the manufacturing and service life of plastic products and components, are outlined in this section. General recommendation for various plastic applications are given in Table 7.3 and Table 7.4. List some of the more common trade names of thermoplastic. I'm sorry. The properties of thermoplastics are lightweight, electrical insulation, corrosion resistance, and recyclable, used when easy shaping and remolding are needed. The examples like helmets, toys, packaging, and kitchen containers. These are the tables that have the general recommendations for plastic products, like the design requirement for mechanical strength, typical applications, and the plastics. In Table 7.4, there are trade names for thermoplastic polymers. Next, you have acetals, from acetic and alcohol, have good strength, good stiffness, and good resistance to creep, abrasion, moisture, heat, and chemicals. Acrylics possess moderate strength, good optical properties, and weather resistance. Next is acrylonitrile butadiene styrene, is rigid and dimensionally stable. Next is cellulosics, have a wide range of mechanical properties depending on their composition. Fluorocarbons possess good resistance to high temperature. For example, a melting point of 327 degrees Celsius or 621 degrees Fahrenheit for Teflon. Chemicals, weather, and electricity. Polyamides, from the words poly, amine, and carboxyl acid, are available in two main types, nylons and aramides. Nylons, a coin word, have good chemical properties and abrasion resistance. Aramids or aromatic polyamides have very high tensile strength and stiffness. Polycarbonates are versatile. Polyesters have good mechanical, electrical, and chemical properties, good abrasion resistance, and low friction. Polyethylenes possess good electrical and chemical properties. Their mechanical properties depend on composition and structure. Polyamides have the structure of thermoplastic, but the non-melting characteristic of a thermoset. Next is polypropylenes, have good mechanical, electrical, and chemical properties and good resistance to tearing. Polystyrenes generally have average properties and are somewhat brittle but inexpensive. Polysulfones have excellent resistance to heat, water, and steam. They have dielectric properties that remain virtually unaffected by humidity, are highly resistant to some chemicals but are attacked by organic solvents. Polyvinyl chloride or PVC has wide range of properties, is inexpensive and water resistant, and can be made rigid or flexible. Next is general properties and application of thermosetting plastic. In this section outlines the general characteristic and typical application of the major thermosetting plastics. First is alkyds, from alkyl meaning alcohol and acid. Possess good electrical insulating properties, impact resistance and dimensional stability, and low water absorption. Aminos have properties that depend on composition. Generally, they are hard, rigid, and resistant to abrasion, creep, and electrical arcing. Epoxies have excellent mechanical and electrical properties, good dimensional stability, strong adhesive properties, and good resistance to heat and chemicals. Phenolics are rigid, though brittle, and dimensionally stable, and they have high resistance to heat, water, electricity, and chemicals. Polyesters have good mechanical, chemical, and electrical properties. Polyamides possess good mechanical, physical, and electrical properties at elevated temperatures. They also have good creep resistance, low friction, and low wear characteristics. Silicones have properties that depend on composition. Generally, they weather well, possess excellent electrical properties over a wide range humidity and temperature, and resist chemicals and heat. Next is biodegradable plastics. Plastic waste contribute about 10% of municipal solid waste by weight. On a volume basis, they contribute between 2 and 3 times their weight. Only about 1/3 of plastics production goes into disposable products such as bottles, packaging, and garbage bags. Designed to decompose naturally by microorganisms, often made from starch, cellulose, or mixed agro waste, and the challenge is higher cost and limited long-term durability. The examples in daily life about this are compostable shopping bags, biodegradable food packaging. They carry recycling symbols in the shape of a triangle outlined by 3 clockwise arrows and having a number in the middle. This number corresponds to the following plastics. PETE is for polyethylene, HDPE for high density polyethylene, V for vinyl, LDPE is low density polyethylene, PP is polypropylene, PS is polystyrene, and the others. Next, we have the elastomers or rubbers. Elastomers consist of a large family of amorphous polymers having a low glass transition temperature. They have a characteristic ability to undergo large elastic deformation without rupture. Also, they are soft and have a low elastic modulus. The term elastomer is derived from the words elastic and mer. The amorphous polymers with very low TG and large elastic deformation can stretch and recover shape, often cross-link, and application require flexibility, sealing, or vibration damping. The example is tires, shoe soles, rubber bands, seals, hose, and shock absorbers. These are the term elastomer is that derived from the words elastic and mer. First, we have the natural rubber. The base for natural rubber is latex, a milk-like sap obtained from the inner bark of a tropical tree. Synthetic rubbers, the example is synthetic rubbers are butyl, styrene butadiene, and polybutadiene. After that, silicones. Silicones have the highest useful temperature range of elastomers, but other properties such as strength and resistance to wear and oil generally are inferior to those in other elastomers. Next is polyurethane. This elastomer has very good overall properties of high strength, stiffness, and hardness, and it has exceptional resistance to abrasion, cutting, and tearing. These are the figure of typical load elongation curve for rubbers. The clockwise loop indicating the loading and the unloading paths displays the hysteresis loss. Hysteresis gives rubbers the capacity to dissipate energy, damp vibration, and absorb shock loadings, as is necessary in automobile tires and in vibration dampers placed under the machinery. Well, that's all from me. Thank you for watching.